Where are we today with regards to the agri-food industry in terms of its sustainability, and what sort of challenges do we face? It's a wonderful question. Thank you very much for having me. I would like to basically say that we are not doing well, to be honest. The agri-food industry is substantially responsible for still degrading land at a speed unprecedented in human history, 35 times faster than our records show. We are losing too much arable soil to land degradation. More than half of arable soils out there don't produce proper food anymore. On top of that, we are wasting far too much water. More than 70% of fresh water is being used up by our industry. And in terms of carbon emission, we have just contributed about 16 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalent in 2022, which represents almost 30% of the world's emission by 2022. So all these data points show us that we are not making the right progress in the right direction. And hence a new structural approach to making a different system come about has to fall in place. How can food production be made part of the change that is required? Well, I can't speak, of course, for others, but I can speak to our intentions and our journey that we are on as in WhatIf Foods. What we are aiming to do is trying to really find that intersection between soil healing and soil health, as well as exploring renewable energy for generating the energy that is required in order to produce the food, as well as carbon sequestration and taking atmospheric carbon out of the atmosphere on a permanent basis. And last but not least, really concluding by thinking through as to how important the well-being of communities are. And right there in this intersection is a brilliant opportunity for us to really go forward in terms of using not only the products of the plant that ultimately end up on the plates of consumers, but also use the byproducts. Some call it waste, we call it a raw material for the production of, for example, biochar, which then gives us the energy that is required in order to make the food ingredients as well as the food, and helps us sequester the carbon through biochar in the soils at our partnering communities. And here's a brilliant opportunity to really make a fantastic needle move towards the right direction. Why do I think an event such as Food for Future here in the Basque Country in Pamplona is important for us to come together? Well, quite honestly, it is so important to have an honest conversation with each other, to really drill down into not incremental change, but come together and explore those sort of drivers that the industry need to see in order to bring a new system about. I think it's really all about listening to each other, trying to find the empathy with each other, right from the soil into the community that farms the food for us. All the challenges that we food processors have, including all these hundreds of thousands of employees that are working within our industry, and then really look deeply into how do we nourish consumers rather than just bring empty calories to them. And such conversations have to happen in events such as in this event here, which need to be profoundly based on an honesty as well as on an empathic level so that we can actually make the needle move.